Hello, everyone. It is Nick here with Pastor Mike.
Hey, guys.
And we're stumbling towards that eschaton. We are here for Sunday, December 13th, the third Sunday of Advent.
Which means we only got one more after this, and then it's the Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas time. Whoop, whoop.
Party time. Excellent. I don't think Wayne's World did much Christmas, but I just couldn't resist that.
We can make that.
Yes, yes, the Wayne's World Christmas special.
Yeah.
That will be on our list to do. Well, again, all of this fun Advent stuff is getting us ready. We're getting there. We're getting ready for the coming of Jesus. It's going to be his birthday. Everybody bring a cake. And the text that we have is a wild preparation one, man. We've had some stuff going down. And on this Sunday, we got the third chapter of Luke, and it's got my boy John on the scene. It's Luke chapter 3, verses 7 through 18. And it's a really, really important story because it's got Luke telling us all about John preparing the people. And I'm going to read the beginning part of it because I think it's useful.
All right.
John said to the crowd as it came out to be baptized by him, "You brood of vipers, who warned you to flee from the wrath to come? Bear fruits worthy of repentance. Do not begin to say to yourselves, we have Abraham as our ancestor. For I tell you, God's able from these stones to raise up children of Abraham. Even now the axe is lying at the root of the trees. Everyone, therefore, that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire." I'm going to stop there because he goes on for a long period of time ragging on folks.
I'm just going to say that's probably a few of the most animals that have been, or just different things that have been said in a gospel. Vipers, bear fruits.
It's like bearing arms.
Yeah. Do not bear false witness.
No, your bear says, don't lie on my stand. No, your bear. Yes, it is, it's got the brood of vipers. I love this text. I don't know if I ever told you this, but nobody can see me here that is listening. Well, maybe some of you have met me before. But when I worked at camp, we do things every now and then. I was typecast as John the Baptist. Whenever there's a John the Baptist, they're like, "Mike, you want to be John?" I don't think of whether I want to be John or not, but I'm going to be John. So I had to go yell a lot of random things with my awesome beard at people.
That's great. I remember it was summer, yeah, and you came and you were in the doctor's outfit, and you're like, "For the science!"
Yes,
it was great.
Yes, for VBS. Yeah, you know what I mean. And I've had I've done the Cotton Patch Gospel before, which is an awesome retelling of like the gospel in like the South. And they actually lynched Jesus as opposed to putting him on the cross. You want to talk about cool symbolism there? But John the Baptist is kind of like some swamp dude. "I done tell you all run from there to come out on a tree, man."
That sounds great.
I was Cajun John the Baptist for a period of time. "Y'all get down now, yeah." That's wow. But the text, this does not seem like a chipper text.
No, and what does he mean to bear the fruits worthy of repentance? Is he saying that you got to be like a good guy to be able to get presents from Santa Jesus?
Yeah, no cosmic vending machine here again. If you're perfect, you get just what you want.
Speaking of cosmic vending machines,
yes.
I went to get Skittles today at my work, and it got stuck in the machine. Me and old lady Josie, she's maybe 70. We were shaking the heck out of that vending machine, trying to get my Skittles down. And we did it, and it was great.
Made a 70-year-old lady help you get Skittles?
Yes, and it was great.
Right,
we shared them.
I might make an exception for her about earning way into heaven, but anytime a 70-year-old lady helps you get Skittles, that is a good deed.
I know, it's a good deed.
What man, having lost his Skittles? No, we're not going parable with that one.
And then she bought another pack of Skittles after me, and it didn't get stuck. And I was like, my break's over. See you later,
Josie. You Skittle lady, you. We get the Skittle mines down here in Yorkville too. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
Skittle mines are here in Yorkville.
All right.
Mine Skittles.
We're gonna have to take a field trip to there.
Skittle mines.
Fan meeting at the Skittle mines.
Hey everybody, let's learn about some Skittles. All right, focus, tighten up. No, but okay, so yeah, what does it mean to bear fruit worthy of repentance? That actually is one of those fascinating things. Here's the kicker. So John has got these people. He's trying to prepare them, and he's got a real issue with the Pharisees. I don't know. Have we ever really ranted, or have I ranted about the Pharisees?
A little bit.
Because they're those legal beagle dudes. You know what I mean? They're the ones that are like, if you follow the law perfectly, everything will be just fine.
Yeah.
That ain't really the bad. Because they also have that broken thought process where if you're not, living a perfect life and you're not rich like they are, you're obviously a horrible person and a sinner. So there's the assumption where it's like, oh, my life is hard. Well, you're a sinner. Well, I didn't do anything wrong. Well, you musta, because otherwise you'd be as rich as me. And that's like, faulty logic, buddy. And so he is really, really calling people to turn away from the things that destroy them, to get those things. And the sense of the fruit is a huge one. I mean, because there's a lot of parts in Scripture, too. Because even Jesus has some parables about the fruit trees. Like, they're not bearing fruit. So why would you keep working on them? And it's a struggle, then, of it has this judgment sense. Less of the sense of that, you need to be a perfect human being, but you need to be mindful of, like, well, so what does it mean to bear fruit? Because that's actually one of the fascinating things that I think John is talking about here. Because he's preparing people for Jesus. That's always got to be a piece to remember. So what does it mean to bear fruit?
I think it's just doing good deeds and just being just a good person.
Yes, exactly. And that's the awesome analogy of it, is it's doing these things, but it's why? Because of who we are. You know what I mean? An apple tree bears...
oranges.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like if you go to Southern California, I just pulled an orange off an apple tree. It's supposed to be a wizard tree. You know what I mean? That doesn't jive. You know what I mean? Apple trees give apples. Fig trees give figs. Grapevines give grapes. And it's that thing. It's that you know something by its fruit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You even know, you know the types of trees even by the nuts that fall.
You know the amount of points you get from the fruit in Pac-Man. Like, you get that. It's in memory.
Man, I could not even pull off the fruits in Pac-Man anymore if I tried. But I mean, it's that simple logic. And so that's even what John is calling us to do. It's like, okay, what do we think is the appropriate fruit for who we are? And it's not necessarily about earning the heaven, because you don't earn your spot as a tree, if you want to take the analogy of the thing, where it's like, yada, yada, yada. But what is the fruit?
First, to be able to get fruit, you got to plant those good seeds of being a nice person, and then it just grows.
Good leads to good.
Yeah.
And sometimes we plant those seeds in other people. I mean, we've ranted about numerous things, but I mean, it's even like parents with kids. I mean, what seeds do you plant in your kids?
Hopefully not real seeds, because...
Was it Mrs. Piggly Wiggly where they'd have those hilarious stories where she'd plant seeds behind their ears?
Yeah, I think so.
And they grew like a rhubarb, something weird behind the ears. Oh,
it was like watermelon or something
We're
like that.
Tangentially awesome. But, well, I even reason it up. It's like, okay, so fruit's worthy of repentance. So what does it mean to change and to become? Are you done, planting seeds of anger or frustration? You know what I mean? It's even like when you raise your kids. If you're angry all the time, dimes and dollars, you're going to have angry kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what they know. Those are the seeds that are planted. If you come from a generous family, odds are you're more likely to be generous. So, I mean, there is that fruit and that seed concept. And so even John is coming on the scene, and people are not doing awesome. And it's like, we need to do some farm work here and get the right seeds to the right plants to bear the right fruit. Because the world needs the good fruit. So it's part of that, I think, that preparation process as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard one, that, because we hear it as negative. Because he even goes on, you know what I mean? The crowd asked him, what then should we do? In reply, he said to them, whoever has 2 coats must share with anyone who has none. And whoever has food must do likewise. Even tax collectors came to be baptized, and they asked him, teacher, what should we do? He said to them, collect no more than the amount prescribed for you. Soldiers asked him, and what should we do? He said to them, do not extort money from anyone by threats or false accusation, and be satisfied with your wages. So there's even the sense of that anybody from any walk of life can bear fruit appropriate for where they're at. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if I'm a mechanic, if I do my job well and all those healthy sorts of things, and I'm bearing the right fruit, there's not going to be issues. Mm-hmm. If I'm hustling people, you know what I mean? You obviously need more filters.
You'll be the dad from Matilda. Is it Matilda? I think because the dad was the auto guy, and he's just like, oh man, yeah, this car's super good, and it was a junk car, and he's like $3,000 instead of like $300 because he just adds zeros, or he'd have the old car, and he had a machine that would rig back how many miles the car had, and just like all that stuff, and he was just hustling. So Matilda would get back by he always wore like a fedora, so she put super glue in the fedora, and so he had to get it, like all of that cut off, and it was a pretty good movie. I recommend that to anyone who's into a good time.
But you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so no matter where we find ourselves in life, what does it mean to bear them the fruit? Not because it earns us salvation, but because in many ways it makes the world a better place. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I get what you're throwing at me. Because it's like with me working in retail is I can give a person a really hard time if I really wanted to, and they're just going to have a bad day because of that. But because I'm super nice and I'm cool, people enjoy shopping, and it makes, and it just makes them have a more pleasant experience.
Everybody wins.
Exactly.
I mean, it's even...
And I mean, people can argue that you don't win if you're nice to them, like they win because, like you don't gain anything. My job, if the customer is very satisfied, I get $5. So, I mean, I win if I make the customer feel very happy. So
Exactly. So there is this sense of, as we bear fruit and we do these things, and it's funny because that's also is preparation for the coming of Jesus, which is a good message because, I mean, really when it comes down to it, I mean, how do we prepare sometimes for this holiday season, man? I mean, how do we prepare? I don't know, man. Do I want to take on the fat man this episode?
I think just a little bit.
I'm talking about Jake and the Fat Man, if you want to talk about awesome old TV shows.
Jake and the Fat Man? All right, let's talk about it.
Haven't you ever heard of that old show?
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it, though.
Oh, my parents loved Jake and the Fat Man. It was by far one of the best names of a show ever. It tells you nothing about it. Like NCIS. I think they might be Navy investigators. Jake and the Fat Man. Do they own a sub shop? You know what I mean?
Are they a pizza place?
I'm Jake and this is the Fat Man. We're going to make you a pie. They're like a lawyer or a private investigation firm or something. It was like weird. It's like, where would you get that from? Do you know what I mean? It's not like, jumbo size PI, which sounds like a worse name of a show ever. Don't ever let me name a TV show.
I mean, Stumbling Towards the Eschaton. Not a lot of people can get from that, from just the title on it. So it makes people click on the video and they're like, what does this mean?
¿Qué? ¿Dónde está? No. Santa is not a bad dude in general, because Saint Nick is pretty awesome. Have you ever read anything about Saint Nick?
I have.
I dig Saint Nick. Brother's awesome. I dig him. But I mean, the Santa Claus we got today, I mean, it's rough. How do we prepare? You know how my kids unfortunately still prepare for Christmas?
How?
They grab, even nowadays, like the cereals that they print out for all the deals on toys.
Yeah.
And they rack up in general list of toys that are probably like a couple grand worth of stuff. And you're like, straight up, dude, I am busting my hump trying to teach you it's not about stuff, guys.
That's what my mom's just like, what do you want for Christmas? And I was just like, money and Nexon play coins. Because Nexon's Mabinogi, man.
Yeah.
I need that Mabinogi credit.
Feed the monkey. Well, but it'd be my kids, but Leo's like, can I have all these video games? And it's like a list when you hit a list of 20 video games and they're each like $50, that is money. It's like, you don't even know what this game is about, but something on the cover, there's like a monkey.
Well, that's what, with my cousin, we asked her to make a wish list on Amazon for what to get her for Christmas, because she's into all the anime stuff. And we clicked on it, and it is a bunch of anime figures for $80, and it's just 3 of them. And we're like, all right, I don't know.
You don't want a yo-yo?
And so we just Amazoned anime, and then we just picked the cheaper things that weren't figures, but just different.
They were nice, but didn't have to sell a kidney to get them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is this fascinating thing about how we have these texts and John the Baptist, was prepared for the coming of Jesus. You know what I mean? Let's get ready. You get all these other stories. Let's get ready for the coming of Jesus. And you're like, yeah, let's get ready. I'm going to buy stuff. This goal almost to be is this haul at Christmas of getting the most stuff. And it's that tension of, bear fruit worthy. If our fruit is all about packages, is that really what is intended? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I struggle with that. I struggle with it a lot. Because you also then have, on the other hand, there's a lot of people that don't even have food to eat on Christmas. And my kid's like, well, I need to have more video games. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. Not to quote The Princess Bride, but you know what I mean? You keep using that word. I don't think it means... They're inconceivable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's wild.
Well, that's how little kids are, though. Just with psychology and stuff like that. Little kids are the greediest, most like selfish beings on earth.
Oh yeah, they're god awful with that. Well, didn't even Stanford do an interesting study with delayed gratification in kids? Mm-hmm. Is that like under a certain age, you just do not get the concept of delayed gratification?
Because, well, they did one thing where it was here you could get 5 by yourself, or Jimmy over there can get 1, and then you'll get 10, and they're like, I'd rather just have 5. Like, screw that guy over there. He doesn't get 1.
Oh no, it wasn't even that one. It was the I'm gonna put a chocolate bar here. If you don't eat it, I'll give you 3 chocolate bars in 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the kids just couldn't handle it. Like, whatever, man.
There's chocolate in there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, it's like, are you... I don't think you have low blood sugar and it's a matter of life or death. No, I need it. You know? And there was no even concept of delayed gratification of, hey, you know what? If I opt not to do this, and that's the killer thing with credit cards, man. You know, my inability to have delayed gratification is like, well, what I could do is I could save, or I can just buy it now and pay the man. Mm-hmm. You know, and people rack up these debts.
That's where I'm fearing right now, because what I'm going to end up doing for my first credit card is to probably just get a Speedway charge card, because gas is a necessity, and fill up gas 2 times a month. That's not too much to pay off, and then it gets good credit.
Well, and I mean, and the key thing is able to pay it off, but there has become this mentality and this struggle and this push that as soon as Thanksgiving hits, we need to buy more. We need to do more to celebrate this. It's become, that commercialism. But what's really the dang point? I mean, if you ever read the Christmas story and try to look at it in light of, everything we do to prepare. Yeah, we won't get to the Christmas story, though. We're going to say that for a Christmas episode. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we're at the heart of this. I mean, as we're at the 13th, here's John, be prepared.
And just clarification, everyone, we're not talking about the movie Christmas Story. We're talking about...
You'll put your eye out!
We're talking about the J-Man.
Yes.
That's what I like to refer to Jesus to. I say, I'm talking to the J-Man right now.
If you had a big t-shirt with a J on it, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Bam! Who's the boss? I ain't Tony Danza. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, and it's that odd preparation thing. So I mean, so maybe even the question is, what could you do to prepare well for it? You know what I mean? I like some of the preparation we do here. I mean, we do that Christmas tree where you can buy the gifts for the people in need and those sorts of things. We rang bells. Your brother had a blast, dude. I don't know if anybody told you that.
No, he did. I heard a little bit, but not too much.
So, because I rang with him the entire time. Dude, he had a blast, I think.
We ring bells at my job. Every time someone donates money to St. Jude's, we ring the bell like crazy. Nice. And I have the habit of going, woo, as loud as I can. So everyone looks over and I'm like, you gotta donate.
To St. Jude?
That's how it goes.
I've always had a soft spot in the subcockles of my heart for St. Jude.
Because St. Jude's great because it covers 100% of the fees. And it's really great.
Yeah, and I mean, that's actually one of those cool things. I mean, if you ever reach a point in your life, you know what I mean? And I know some people, it reaches I don't need anything. You know what a great Christmas gift idea is? Because if people want to give you stuff, pick a charity. Be like, okay, you know what I mean? I'm good. I'm set. I don't need anything. But if you really want to spend some jingle jangle on me, you know what I mean? Here's a charity. You know what I mean? Lutheran World Relief. St. Jude. I mean, St. Jude's a good organization.
PWS USA, man. It's all about that represent.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what my brother, he has PWS.
Yes,
so.
yes. A lot of those good charitable organizations. St. Jude does good work. Lutheran World Relief does good work. I mean, you look at some of those. You know what I mean? I could spend, easily $100 on family members, but it's like if people want to spend $100 on me, $100 for St. Jude's. I mean, what could that do for kids with cancer, man? Mm-hmm. I mean, those are the lost cause kids. You know what I mean? These are not the kids that are like, oh, you'll get better in time. These are they need something, man.
Yeah.
They need the proverbial Christmas miracle. And if you can make it happen, isn't that so much better? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that I think is even what it's talking about. Repenting is changing your ways. What are your ways? Are your ways commercialism? So how can we tweak that? And part of it is, you know what I mean, even as John talks about, be happy with what you got. You know what I mean? Do what you can in the world. And if there's a way of, oh, yeah, you can buy me, 12 cases of Fig Newtons.
I mean, nothing's wrong with that. Fig Newtons are fun.
That was the problem with my dad. My dad is the worst person to buy for in the universe. I'm glad he doesn't listen to these things. He's like, I don't listen to those things. Because my dad's awesome. My dad has old man skills like to 11.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean by old man skills?
Yeah.
Oh, man, back in my day.
Yeah,
we had one toy and it was grass and we liked it. You ran on it, you rolled on it, it was the best toy ever. And you're like, I think you had more toys than that, whatever.
I didn't have more toys.
We had one toy and I shared it with all the God's creation. It was grass.
I mean, if you were able to gift someone all the grass, like they just had ownership and you got liberties every time grass was seen by another person, I think you'd be set.
Or even if you're eaten by cattle. All right, we're going beyond the scope of emergency. Yeah. You know what I mean? But, just one year, he's just along the lines like, I'm not getting anything this year. Don't buy me nothing. Every year I have to create a list of things for people to buy me. It is a chore. Right now, you give me this year is a chore. To come up with stuff that I don't need and might be reasonable for you to buy me. I'm done with that. Just don't buy me stuff.
I just buy my dad, like every year, I get him a 24-pack of cola. That's what I do.
Oh, but it's funny because we know he likes Fig Newtons, so everybody buys him Fig Newtons. And so it's all of a sudden he's got like, all these dang Fig Newtons, he doesn't know what to do with them. I don't want them to go bad. And Fig Newtons are one of those things that if you'd like, but still, it's not like going deep into a bag of Oreos kind of thing, man. After all, it's like, it's getting a little more figgy than I want right about now.
That's how I feel about licorice. I love black licorice.
You do?
I do. I bought chocolate-covered licorice yesterday at my store.
Oh my, are you serious?
It was great, all right? Ah. And it's one of those things, I was just like, this is really good. And then after I ate the 5 of them, they were like this long, like this, you can't see, but like 7 inches long, like an inch wide. Just big, giant things of chocolate-covered licorice. I ate all 5 of them. And then for the next 10 minutes at my job, immediately was just in the bathroom crying. Like, it was terrible.
That was like top 10 of worst decisions I've heard in like a long time. I love chocolate-covered licorice. I'm just sitting here, I'm like, that feels like Jackie Chan just punched me in my taste buds. Like, just hearing that. I cannot handle that. But, I mean, so it's that so how do we prepare? And maybe that's the great concept then for this stumbling toward the Eschaton. As we stumble on, what are we preparing for? Are we preparing to get more, or are we preparing to give more?
And I feel like that's a pretty good question to leave it off for on today.
So, and maybe that's the homework for folks, as I've ranted and raved. Probably because I'm in the whole Christmas zone, man. The Christmas!
And because we're on YouTube now, you guys can actually leave comments.
Yeah, leave a comment about maybe, that's a stinking awesome.
I know.
Look at you.
We can do comments now.
You're in my face. Leave good comments. None of these, no haters. No Glee Club coordinators.
If you hate, you gotta not appreciate because I'm gonna block you.
And then I'll call Taylor Swift and she'll sing, haters gonna hate.
Hey, yeah. I can play that on my ukulele, man. I don't need her.
Dude, we should totally do that at some point in time. Do a Taylor Swift cover band on ukes.
That'd be great.
All right, we'll shelve that for maybe our next project. But but think about what fruit that we can bear in the Christmas season. As our brother John says, let's bear the fruit. Not as guilt, not as force, but as this awesome opportunity to prepare the way of the Lord. All right, I'll keep talking.
Keep on stumbling, guys. See you later.
Bye.